Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got quite a balanced rack, but I'm not seeing a bingo here. And it's quite tricky to sort out because all of the tiles are fairly bingo-y, so I don't really want to wreck the rack too much. But I do need to address the surfeit of vowels. I'm just wondering if I can make a 5-letter play which gets my C or H doubled and preserves the S, but I don't think so. So I think the best I can do is ho, and I've got the S for going on either end. I'm going with this. Pretty good. I have Ucanes, which plays in columns 6 and 10, and probably elsewhere. It plays in row I. Do I have a play which begins or ends in O? I don't think I do. But I should be bingoing with this rack. Through an N, I would have nuisance. Ucanes is a bit of a strange word. I think it's a word I've had difficulty remembering before because I think I've thought that unicase was good. But I'm fairly sure it is Ucanes. So do I have anything through H or E? Not seeing anything through H. And I don't think Ucane takes an E at the end. So quite a low value start with 12 points. But it's paid off because I do have a bingo on my rack. Now if opponent were to change, I think I would play in row I, which can overlap all 3 tiles of ho. That would maximise the score. I'm currently watching the World Scrabble Championships. In Torquay, they're being streamed on YouTube. I haven't got it on right now, but I was watching it this morning and we're at the semi-final stage, so quite an exciting tournament going on down in Devon at the moment. Now 24 points for opponent, so I still have my bingo in columns 6 and 10. Does it play in rows J or G? Well, only starting at G1, making Shah, which isn't better. But I do have it here for 72. Pretty good. I have a decent scoring tile in the J. And I should have a number of options. What I don't have an option of doing is bingoing. Can't see a 7 with this rack, and I suspect there aren't any 8s either. I would have joineries onto ES. That's not currently available. So do I have a play in column 3? Getting the J doubled? I do, because of junior. That stops 1 square short of row O, but it's going to score well. Do I have anything in column 5? Don't think so. And I'm not seeing anywhere to play joiner or join. Well, I do have joiner in column 10 and hoa. But that's not going to score particularly well. Aim takes an E at the end. Through a D, I would have edgy dough. C only takes an H after it, which hampers parallel plays in row K. and in row I. Han takes an S in front, and I think that's it. Well, it takes a T as well, and a K. Opponent spending a while on these opening moves, down to nearly 15 minutes. So at the moment my preference is junior, and I haven't seen anything else which is particularly great. I suppose I have Zhao in column 5, Jiao. That's going to leave a rack leave of EINR, which is pretty good. Although not many floating consonants on the board. And consonant floaters favour rack leaves which have an equal balance of vowels and consonants. So, do I have a play in column 4? Great, junior remains available. Has opponent provided anything? And what I was going to consider was a play in column 4, getting the J doubled. Not seeing anything which works there. K does now take an O in front. So I have Jerkin, 34 points. Let me see what junior scores. 42 points, that's a bigger score. Rackleaf's not great, but it wouldn't be great after Jerkin either. I'm going with this. Wow, that is a good pickup. I have Aristi, Atresia, and Asteria. Not sure any of those go. Well, Asteria does, row O, and juniors, fantastic. And that same word plays in column 10, making Hoa. I take that back, it doesn't. Do any of them play in column 10? Ho takes an R and an S. So Aristi doesn't play. Asteria doesn't play. What about Atresia? Well, yes, Atresia does play in column 10, making Hoa. Well, it would play if A-I-M-E is good, but it's A-M-I-E, so AIM only takes an S at the end. I think that's caught me out before. Wow, nice bingo by opponent. Oteries takes an N and a V in front. I have Asteria for 88. Not a good pickup. Way too many vowels. And it's going to be difficult to leave a decent rack leave. Hufia is not good. However, I do have a couple of scoring tiles, so if I could play hoof, that might score quite well. The R only takes an E after it. Just looking around for any vowels next to premium squares for my F and H to benefit from. Not really seeing any. Fem and hem are good, but I'm looking to play off vowels, and I'm going to struggle to do that. I could play Ufia, which is not bad, keeping HA, decent rack leave. It does place an O above this triple letter square, with the X still to come. And Ufia does take 4 or 5 front hooks. Pretty much anything apart from an H. B, G, P, R and W. However, it would certainly sort the rack out. 4 N's to come and 2 V's, which I mentioned because of the Otaries front hooks. Just wondering if there are any other front hooks. I don't think rotaries is good. Now, opponent increases the value of the Ophir play and burns an N. Interesting, maybe he doesn't know about notaries. So this is what I'm thinking of, 23 points. And I think I will go with this. I haven't seen anything better. Still no N or V. And not a nice rack. No 7 or 8 letter bingos come to mind. However, if this spot remains available, I have DOH. And I've also got a P for going in, P and R for going in front of Ophir. Just looking at the Y in case I've got a Hydra word. But Hydropod I don't think is good. I'm not even going to check that. The bottom of the board is pretty dry. Only really available for bingos in row N. I guess a play through I and K might be worth doing for one of us. But I think all of the best action for me is around Ophir with this rack. I guess the other Otaries hook, which I was thinking as being possible, was rotaries, and I think I'll check that since I can. And it's good. Okay, so I don't think I had the R last turn, but I do now, so I could play hard. I can play Horde. Keeping DP, 35 points, decent score. Can I do better? And do I have a play which gets a tile on this double letter square? Not that I can see. This spot's still available underneath the O of Boophia, but I think Horde is a better play. Wow, what a pickup. Great to see the S, the blank, and to some extent the X. The rest of the rack, pretty horrendous. And look at that. That spot underneath the O remains available. And I just needed... well, I guess I just needed an O to be able to play there. And there's only 2 of those left, so I can't feel too hard done by in not having one. So do I change or do I play? I think I play. Even a play of just Pox would be better than changing. I could draw the tiles for Squidge. It would be nice to play off one more tile, but I think that may be a struggle. Can't see anything through ED. Wow, fantastic bingo by my opponent. He's now just 27 points behind. And does this I assist? Look at all these vowels he's got. I only needed 1 to improve the rack. So I think I will play Pox for 28. Great, I have a vowel, and at the moment I can play Cade in column 12. That may well go. So where else can my Q play? Well, okay, I guess I could just play QI for 11 points. Pretty grim. I have a 55-point lead. It's nice to split up the D and the G. They don't really have much synergy. Domain, it takes an S at the end. I don't think it takes a D. If I had an I, there would be a nice chi spot in row B, but there's only 2 I's to come, so it wouldn't be a good idea to fish for one. Maybe if there'd been 6 or 7, it would have been. It's good to have the blank. Hopefully once I can clear the queue out of the way, I should be able to sort the rack out and hopefully get a bingo down before the board closes up. The whole of the left-hand side of the board is now non-bingo-y. So there's really the options created by domain and the floating C of fancy, the Y less useful. Opponent down to 7 minutes on their clock. Starting with 20 minutes, so I've played fairly fast, but that hasn't been a tactic. It's just the way things have been. So my Cade spot goes, however, a new one presents itself. Wow, look at this, look what I've seen. No S's, no blanks to come. So I can play Cade in this spot. I had a choice of this or Caddy, but playing Cade here means that only I can hook it to make Cade's 28 points. So, do I have a bingo? If I do, the blank is likely to be a vowel. So, do I have a bingo with the blank as an A? I don't think so. E? No. I? No. Oh no. U? Yes. Putt logs. That plays in column 15. I would have glue pots through an E and a U, or a U. But at the moment I have putt logs. Opponent may try and interrupt that opportunity. He should be able to infer that I could have played Caddy and that I'm ahead, so I would only have played Cade if I had an S or a blank or both, and probably both. Great, that spot remains available. Putt logs for 92. And I draw a pretty ropey rack, but it doesn't matter. I'm 150 points in the lead, and there's only 8 tiles in the bag. So, what to do with this rack? Let me just check the vowel situation. 4 vowels and a Y left out of 15 tiles. So it doesn't really matter how many of these E's I play, and I'm certainly not in a hurry to play more than one of them. I have jibe in column 13. This I something K spot remains available. So I could play bilk. Bilk has some merit. It's 20 points. I'm retaining vowels, a lot of vowels. Can I do better? YU takes A, K and R in front. I haven't got any of those. So what to do here? 13 minutes on my clock, so I've got acres of time. 6 tiles in the bag. Where are the opportunities? I'm looking above hose because my B can go in front of OIS. Lem not good, nor is eam. I don't have anything in row B. Well, I do. I don't have anything which overlaps Horde. But I have Bevel for 24 points, and I quite like that. Rackleave is probably the most tractable of the candidate Rackleaves I've considered. Wow, great rack. 2 tiles in the bag. I can see the remaining tiles, and they're rubbish. Just a solitary vowel, 2 W's. And I have a balanced rack, including the Z. So, where are the good Z spots? There's the E of domain. So I've got Zell, which is pretty good, leaving gate. Just wondering if I have a something AZ play at the top. Don't think I do. I have Les and Z. So great, I do have a pretty good Z play. And maybe if I'd identified that, I wouldn't have played Bevel and would have taken out the Z play at the bottom to deny my opponent its use. So, has opponent provided anything new up the top? Abo is good. I don't have any ZA words apart from ZA, which should be 38 points. I think this is going to score more. Zell for 49. No tiles left. Opponent's got 6 consonants. Let me just put this back. I have Teasel. 57 points. A solitary G. Can I go out with that? I have GI and GI, and I have gut, so I can go out with that. When I had Zell, 49, 8 fewer points, but I had Gate. Could I score more with Gate than I can with G, taking into account the 8-point difference? Not sure there's a huge amount in it. I'm going with this. And that takes me over the 500 mark, which is great. So, where's the best spot for my G? Ged for 5. Ag and Go for 6. 11 minutes on my clock, so I am going to complete this exercise. Feg and Gi for 10. I'm just putting that in because I think it's likely to be best. 6 for Gut. Gi for 2. Go for 3. Gi for 6. Yeah. So I'm going with Feg for 10. And the final score, 355 for my opponent, 519 for me, a winning margin of 164 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. It was myself to go first. I had this rack. Could have played Echoes, burning the S. I prefer Ho for 12, keeping Case. So, is Case 16 points better than A? Well, A is going to be worth about 0 or a half. Case must be worth about 15. So I think, yes, it's going to be pretty close. Plus, if I were to have played echoes, I would have provided a ton of floaters for my opponent, which is quite important on the opening move. So I like my play. This was opponent's rack. No bingo. But look at this. If I had played echoes, he would have had a bingo. If he'd spotted it, he would have had Mizaraic and Makari's through the sea. And possibly others. He plays aim. And now I have Ucanes. I also have Semunsi E through EM in column 9. But this was the highest scoring spot. Opponent's rack plays Orc. And I have Junior for 42. Great rack for opponent. Plays Otaries. Now, because of rotaries, I could have bingoed in row A. But I think row O is going to score more. Yeah, Asteria for 88. Opponent's rack could have played Fernie in the top row. Plays Fancy. And now Hoofer was available onto the R, where I played Ufia. Tricky because Ufia is 6 fewer points, but HA is a nicer rack leave than AI. Is it 6 points better? Well, it may be, or it may be slightly less, but there's not going to be much between them. Opponent's rack plays Verb, and now I have Horde in the top row, but Padre. Wow, look at that, Padre playing underneath this O, across to the I, scores 38. Not much between those, and I think it's the right thing to do to take out row A, because that is a super hot spot. Wow, a ton of bingos for opponent, and he spots Domain. And I have a slender lead at this point, but this is a problematic rack. Picks available through the Y for 30. I play the same 2 tiles for 28. Could have burnt the blank to play XED. Across here, retaining the cube. It's a lot of points, but it's only 30 more points than Pox, with the blank worth about 25, so 25 to 30. So I'm happy with my play. Opponent plays Living. And now I have Cade for 28, which is great because I have the only hooks for that word. Wow, opponent has turn done. Nowhere for it. Plays New. And Putlog's the only bingo. So I'm now guaranteed the win. I have a 150 point lead, but there are still 8 tiles to come. Opponent plays U. I played Bevel for 24. Not much else on offer. Opponent plays Ode. And I have Teasel for 57 in column 1, which looks fine. Opponent plays Win. And finally Feg for 10 was the best. And Gi is the same word. And that takes me to 519. So, what a game. It didn't get off to a fantastically rapid start. Some short words and opponent taking a while on his opening plays, but then it really exploded into life with Otaries and Ucanes. And in the end, we had a really wide open board with not too many overlapping plays. But all good fun and great to get over 500 points. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.